All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah. Coming this evening with an awesome message. This message is coming from the book of the prophet Isaiah. Not Isaiah, Israel. Israel. Isaiah. The book of Isaiah, chapter 1. We're coming from the book of Isaiah. We're going to start with verse 2. This is an awesome message because it's going to give us a little bit more insight of how heaven speaks to us, but can we understand when heaven has spoken to us in time past or still yet speaking to us? Can we really understand when heaven speak? And many will not or cannot. But we're going to cover that. Can we understand when heaven speak? Okay. And we're going to the book of Isaiah, chapter 1. We're going to start with verse 2. We know that Isaiah is whom Yah called his prophet. We know that that's his prophet. So we want to really chime in on what he was saying that Yah said. Okay. um and like I said, when you dig into this Isaiah chapter 1 verse 2, you're going to have to be in somewhat of what you call the spiritual realm to actually hear heavens speak. So the topic again is, can we understand when heaven speak? So, from the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 2, this is where I'm going to start. Okay. And it reads, Hear, O heaven, hear, O heaven, and give ear, O earth. Now, right there, it's saying something. And what it is saying, it's saying something to the heavens and as well as the earth. And what many of us do not understand, why he spoke of principalities in high places. That's really where the true battle is at. It's because we're living in the year of 2025. And now he has brought it to the earth level, that which was fighting and battling on the heavenly level. So to be in the spirit realm, you have to really be able to understand what is being said here. 99.20 billion won't. But what Sister Deborah is going to try to break it all down so you can really get a feel of heavens and how it really have been speaking to us long time ago, and we have not been hearing because we don't understand. You remember, well, who was that man? I forgot who he was, but one of the disciples asked him, had he heard? He said, how can I hear unless someone teaches me, or in a sense, explain it to me? So he was telling one of the disciples he can't not hear, he cannot understand because he haven't been taught. So there are individuals who might not be able to have the understanding of how to use their spirit to be able to tap into the ways of the spirit of Yah. So here again in Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 2, when it says here, notice it says here, okay? But it's saying something first and foremost to one level. I mean, he's saying something to more than before he want the earth to hear him. He's telling the heavens. He said, Hear, O heavens. You notice the S? See how right then I took you from him just saying here to him now speaking to the heavens. You see? See, many people will see this and they would think he would be talking to his kingdom. No, he's speaking of the principalities in high places. And not only are the battle in high places, Yah has his angels as well in high places. You see what I'm saying? To where they were in the heavens. A lot of people don't know that today. They don't know what it meant. It really meant to say, we fight not against flesh and blood, but principalities. They have no idea. They can read that a million times. Just like people would, when he said put on the whole armor, people think it's something their flesh has to put on. And they don't teach the people, no, he's not talking about something natural you got to put on. Meaning you don't have to put on your understanding, your wisdom, your knowledge. He's telling you to put on something spiritual to understand that's which he is speaking of, principality in high places. You got to come to the realm of the spirit to really get what is being said. Likewise, here, when Isaiah is saying, really leaving a room so we can hear what heavens is saying, not heavens, but heaven. Heaven is where Yah's throne, where he is speaking, and he is saying, hear, O heavens. So he's not talking to his kingdom and the host that's in his kingdom. He's talking about the heavens above us and above us and above us before it get anywhere near where he's at. This is how it should have been taught. But again, it have not and had not. And this is the purpose of bringing the light in the midst of all darkness. So here he says, here, O heavens. He even got an S behind it. So he's telling you, he's speaking to the layers of heavens, and give ear, O earth, and those that are on the earth. The people that's the humans that are on the earth. He said, here, this topic is, can we understand when heaven speaks? That means Yah on his throne. Can we really understand when heaven speaks? So here in Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 2, we know now that Isaiah is showing us or telling us about when the Father spoke unto him. And he says, hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth. Meaning we that are on the earth, listen. But before he wanted us on the earth to hear, he wanted the heavens to hear with an S, letting you know that there's different levels of heavens. That's where those principalities in high places reside. And even the other angels that works on our behalf, they're in the heavens. Remember when I used to say, the Father told me, Deborah, it doesn't matter if anyone come to your live, if anyone hear you, as long as you speak, it's gone out. You see what I'm saying? Even the principalities of evil didn't heard my message. So this is what the Father is saying. The angels from my host, from my kingdom that heard your message. That's what he was meant. That's what he was saying when he was telling me you don't need not one. Even that one. If you don't have to speak my word, and it goes on out to the wind. So that's who's catching it. Look at here. Oh heavens. Yah knows that there are entities in the heavens. Even the hosts of heaven is down also to protect us from the principalities in high places. They too fall under the heavens. But this is what he's saying. He's saying here, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for Yah has spoken. I have nourished. Okay, here we go, Yah. He says, I have, but I want to first let you know in verse 2, he's speaking to the principalities and the angels that's in the heavens. Right then is a message that should have blew your head right then. Why? Because it's showing you how the message that he's about to give us on earth, he first addressed those in the heavens. First and foremost, hear what I'm about to say. Oh, see, like I said, a lot of people don't get it. That's how distant people's spirit is. It really resides. Because see, here he said, for Yah has spoken. I have, this is what he said. This is what Yah is saying. I have nourished and brought up children. Mm, 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 mm. He said he has nourished and brought up children. So now I said, okay, Father, nourish. I would like to know what that means in the language in which it originated from. What is the definition of that? Because you're saying you have nourished and brought up children. What does that nourish mean? And what it means in Hebrew, Strong's 3557, he have provided them. He have provided them. Who are them? We still in verse 2. The children in which he had brought up. He provided them. And they have rebelled against me. And in my mind, I would say he had to been speaking basically to the angels that belong to him more so in the heavens, because he don't owe no explanation to the principality. But I want you to know that this is why when you hear that word said here, he was making a very powerful statement that he wanted the heavens to understand about, and the earth, which where we are at. But he wanted the heavens to get it as well, first and foremost. That's deep to me, because it turned around and said, I have nourished both. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. They have rebelled against me. When he said nourished, he said he provided them with substance. He was their provider. Okay. But yet, no, they rebelled against me. Now, in my mind, and even in yours, the first thing you should try to figure out, I can see him telling us on the earth, but who is he telling in the heavens? Who is first and foremost being mentioned before those that have an ear on the earth? Oh, heavens, and give ear earth. He's speaking to two, earth and the heavens. So what do he say? I have nourished, I have provided. That's what it means in Hebrew. And brought up children. They have rebelled against me. Okay. Then we get to rebelled against me. We find that to be in Strong's 4784, meaning rebelled means disobedient. So what is he saying? I brought them up, Deborah. I nourished them. I gave them substance, but they rebelled against me. Okay. Now, when we get to verse 3, it began to talk about, now so he was telling whatever was in the heavens what the children had done on earth. And nobody would ever teach that or preach that. But that's what he said. Oh, heavens, let me tell you what they did. So therefore, the individuals in the heavens, where he said, oh, heavens, whatever spirit they are, they had no idea the level of the children he brought up that rebelled against him, even after he nourished him. Then you get to verse 3. It says, an ox knoweth his owner, and an ass his master crib. So I really wanted to really understand crib. And I realize it means one that manage them. Manage what? The ass. They they know their crib. They know their master crib. So they know their master is their management. They're managed, the one that managed them. And it says an ass, an animal. Verse 3, an ox knoweth his owner, and an ass his master crib. Now those are two beasts. They know where they stand. But what did he say? But Israel, do it not know. My people do not consider. They do not consider. And what is it saying? They do not even count or consider all that I have been to them, nourishing them, managing them, really everything that they have. But they, Israel, in verse 3, do not know. My people do not consider. You see? Now, is he speaking of Babylon in which they are in captivity? No. That's not what he's speaking about. He's speaking of a people that have been like this since the beginning of time. And I'm going to end this with a revelation along with tomorrow when I go into Ezekiel. It's going to be the same revelation. Now watch this here. Revelation is going to break it all and bring it to the end. Okay. So when I get to verse 4, you see where in verse 4, what we did to consider, okay, when you see in verse 4, it says, I think that's what that's a sinful nation, a people laddered with iniquity, a seed of evil doers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yah. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. And they are gone away backwards. They are gone away backwards. Okay. Now, when you see here, you see it called this nation sinful. Sinful. He calls this nation sinful. They are a sinful people. Laddered mean weight. A sinful nation of people who weigh their weight. That means, just imagine how you get on a scale and you're looking for your weight. Okay? You look down and you see your weight, the number to how much you weigh. He's saying the laden with iniquity. Their iniquity has a weight to it. These people, iniquity has a weight to it. That's what Latin means in Hebrew. Weight. Okay, so it's showing you that, say for instance, if it said it didn't weigh, then it couldn't have been very much of sinful. But he said it has a weight to it. Okay, a seed of evil doing. A seed. Do you see that word seed? Of evil doing. Children that are corruptibles. Now, this is not for 400 years, you guys. This is a people that is like this, that have been like this. We haven't gotten to Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Daniel, and Hosea. We're way down here at Isaiah. And he's getting a grip because now he's a prophet of Yah. And Yah is speaking to him about the people he's about to deal with. This is going back how many times I explained to you. Had we, say for instance, we decided that, okay, since we know that we are the true people, why haven't we digged in deep enough to really know, first and foremost, our sin, our disobedience, our stiff neck, our rebellion, and our ugliness, our iniquity, and then pull up out of that by omitting, okay, Father, you got us, you are the one. But we so busy saying we the one, we this and we this and we this, and he gonna get you because of what you done to us. Everyone is so embedded in that as far as Judah, to the point where they think it's not just Judah, it's Benjamin and Judah. Okay, so they are so embedded in everything that the world is doing and saying that they fail to realize you the one been over here 400 years. You learned everything they have taught you in their history. You learned everything they have said, even to today, but you reject your real history in the way of truth. 400 years, and we as a people, Judah, call it an awakening. How could you be awakened when you have not awakened to really the individual you were from your father to 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 your father, all the way to where we're at now? Who? The fathers. So this is why Sister Deborah used to always say, what do you mean waken? You have not awakened. You have not awakened. You see what I'm saying? Because you have to awaken to some sort of truth to really stand on all these platforms and tell the world that you are awakened, that you are the people. Okay, now that you know that you are the people, tell the truth about the history of who you are. Had you done that, the world might have really seen who Israel has, the one that's the fake one, really is, really was. But because we kept silent, and we kept silent because we were partially blind. That means you can see and you was partially blind, but not to the point to where you were never to know who you were. So they blame the whole world for stealing our identity and claiming to be us when we still haven't owned up to who we are. You see? So the reason why Isaiah, I'm bringing Isaiah here because I got stuck on this yesterday when I was reading. I was like, okay, he's speaking this to Isaiah. And I know Isaiah is like, oh, wait a minute, I got to carry this message. Yes, this is what I called you for. Now watch this. And it says, a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity. And in Latin then mean weight. They have a heavy weight of what? Iniquity. A seed of evildoers. Children that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yah. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are going away backwards. And that's where they're at today. Even to today, as a prophetess in the wilderness, I can vouch that Judah is still backwards. He still, now don't forget, this is one of the prophets. And then also after him, Jeremiah. After him, Ezekiel. After him, who is it? Is it Daniel or Hosea? Go on and on and on. Prophets. Giving us an insight of what? Our history, our true history. But we think the only history that we have is we the true people and they stole our identity. And they have scattered us in the ships and got us in slavery. That's all they want to know. That's all they're willing to accept. Now, when you hear me speak, guess what? If I'm able to be on this devil platform and speak spirit and truth with the light, then I had said to you over and over and over, you tune into me, you're in trouble. Why? Because now you have heard the light that sits in darkness. Now you are fully aware. Oh, especially if you follow me and been under the teaching, you are fully aware of truth. To where if our Hebrew Israelite men, when they started this mission, if they would have stayed on course until they got to their true history, then yes. But what I realized that it wasn't that they couldn't get to the history, it's just that they wanted to live the lie. Because before all this Hebrew Israelite took place 20 years ago, there was a man named was it YAHWEH, I think it's something like that. And he had started this Hebrew Israelite movement long time ago. And that group of men, I mean, he even ended up in jail. I mean, that man was I didn't even know they were doing all kind of wicked and evil stuff like that. But why wouldn't I? When this is telling me before even his time, Deborah, they were like this long time ago. So that's another form of the comforter that assure you that all the things that has taken place, yet they still had always reject the truth. They never 400 years, past 400 years, y'all. But let's say 400 years, and you mean to tell me after all this, you never took on this book you say is your history and seen who you are. They don't want that. They want to be only the people of Yah, and they are the righteous. And somebody took our identity. They brought us from a slave ship. They have us in slavery. Cut. That's it. They don't want to accept all these thousands of years how he that calls you his children, he that calls you his people, have turmoil with you since the beginning. We should have pulled that up, y'all. I don't care how bad it sounds. I don't care how bad it look. No matter how bad it feel, we should have brought that to the surface. Because what that do? That set us free. We repeated our forefathers. That's what we did. We repeated our forefathers even up to the year 2025. And we wonder which way we go. Which way we go. We don't know which way to go. We don't know which way to go. Which way is it? Because every one of us are leading people in totally different direction away from truth. Because most people do not want to teach spirit and truth. Most people in Judah don't want to bring the light out. You know why? It would interfere with the darkness they've been teaching you all these years on these platforms, all these years in the churches, all these years in the synagogue and in the temple. It would interfere with it. It would show all the people that they have been misled. So they stay at the course and in the lane, which give them the okay to continue to teach and preach at the level of where they are at. And they are very much content with being in that level, walking in that area, and continue to teach people exactly that which caused them to manifest in their own way, and teach. So when I get to we still on Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 4. So what does it mean? They are gone away backwards. What do you think that means? They are gone away backwards. You see that in verse 4. They are gone away backwards. They have decided to go the opposite way than forward. The opposite way is the dark way. The opposite way is the evil way. The opposite way is the way their forefathers gone. So they decided, okay, we're going to go in a different way. Exactly. Than to go the way of Yah, the way of the light. And I think it's in Psalms 23, ye though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I should fear no evil, because thy rod and thy staff, they lead me. Why? Because in that shadow of death, at the end where I walk through, the word through let you know there's a way out. That's what through means. You got a way out. Keep walking, because this is the walk that Yah have you to walk, but there's a way out. There's a way through this here. That's what that represents. So in this same sense, where it says backwards, they're gone backwards. Now you got to understand, this is Yah speaking to the heavens, telling on the people on the earth. People, I'm telling you, this is so powerful. They're telling on, Yah is telling on the people that's on the earth that he had chosen to be his children. He's telling it to the heavens what they doing. Yes, that's what he's doing in verse 2. So you get to verse 3, I'm going to show you something else in there. Iniquity. I learned something so powerful in the iniquity. I did not know that it was this sharp. We're still in verse 4. It says, the nation, a people laden with iniquity. That means heavy iniquity. Iniquity in the Hebrew, strong, means blame and punishment. Blame and punishment. That's what that means. So their weight with iniquity, their iniquity weigh heavy. That means their blame and their punishment is heavy to match their iniquity. The weight of that iniquity. So then you get here and it tells you they're gone backwards. That's in verse 4. And what in me, I'm trying to understand, how is it that those who say that they are scholars, they are Hebrew Israelite teachers, they are Hebrew Israelite learners, scholars in that field. Oh, they know the Torah, they know the Bible back to front, front to back, apostle, all these other books that they grip into, but then you can't even understand the basic of who you as a people are. I think anytime y'all bring us to the level to see who we are, it's time to stand on the mountain and tell it like it is. Not hide it to where you want people to just see only what you want to share with to them that would manipulate them. So that's what I'm looking at. So when I get to verse 5, and iniquity mean blame and punishment. The reason why that shocked me, because he said, I will visit the iniquity of the children 3 to 4 generations. So you're going to blame the children and punish them for the father 3 to 4 years. You mean that's why we where we at? Because we never came up out of the ways of our father. We stayed in those same ways, and even to today, he is visiting the iniquity of the father's children onto their children. And we thinking we escaped something. We think, and this is how the men would have been able to identify really who they are. Not woman, but who they are. They would have been able to say, well, okay, if I marry this woman, she had to have had a father. And if her ways is not right, her father ways must not have been right. You get what I'm saying? So, but they they can't put those pieces together to form spirit and truth or the light. How can you be set upon a hill and refuse to see who you are as a people? It's a refusal. It's an identity that, okay, you've gotten to the point where you know that maybe you are the people. Now, understand your real history. You understood the history of the Europeans telling you who you are. Why can't we understand the history of what Yah say that we are? Because the history of the Europeans is a lie, but the history of Yah is all truth. What's wrong with us? Oh, we don't want the history of really who we are. We want the history and how we want to make it up so we can go on and continue believing the lie. I mean, to me, it's heavy. Because as he's telling this to Isaiah, I'm feeling this thing. I'm like saying, Father, you mean all this time it went all over that? Did Sister Deborah knew it extended way back in Genesis? Yes, I did. And it's still going on 2025. But it takes somebody that Yah, that's truly the servant of Yah, to bring spirit and truth and the light forth. Because if you leave it up to human beings of your nation, you can hang it up. Because they're repeating the sins, the iniquity of the forefathers. Who are the fathers? See, that's another thing they didn't want, because they don't want to be revealed. They don't want to look at the situation and say, wait a minute, y'all, it was us. It was us. We were the men that messed our nation up or our tribe up. It was us. No, they won't. They will never reach that destiny. Never will. Because it's over. Even the chance that he gave them to know their own history, they rejected. Instead, they went backwards. Okay, so that's what it says. They went backwards. Okay, now I'm in verse 5. And in verse 5, it says, why should ye be stricken? Why should ye be stricken? Why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more. I don't think y'all get it. This is Yah saying to his prophet Isaiah. Why should ye be stricken anymore? And then he says, ye will revolt more and more. Oh, I got the stricken. Okay. What did it say? And ye, verse 5, ye will revolt more and more, for the whole head is sick, and the whole heart fainted. What do you think that means? The reason why we keep repeating everything of the forefather is because we're finding ourselves at a point where we don't really want to have no connection to really who we are. I thought that 400 years, and I did. I said, Father, that's a long time to be in the land of our captives and not know who we are. And it's past 400. That's a long time. Why do Sister Deborah keep saying it's past 400? Because we done went past to show you we still living the lie that's fit us. But we want the world to tell the truth. Can we ask the world to tell the truth when we as a people continue to live a lie? Now, it was a time where this information was not opened up to us. But it will be the lie from the pit of hell in the last 50 years or longer that it has been clearly seen. But they are rejecting it even to today. Our people are not, our men are not teaching their men, because they are the one that he's speaking of as the head. He says here in verse 5, the whole head is sick and the whole heart fainted. Because we're repeating the same cycle of the forefathers that displeased Yah hundreds of years ago. We're still living it out today. Now, when I get to verse 6, it says, from the sole of the feet, even unto the head, there is no soundness in it. Meaning there's nothing in it that leads to the way of Yah. Nothing. So So how is it that all these Hebrew Israelite movements and cults wasn't able to get to here and clear this mess up? How did you get to be able to know how to precept? How did you get to know how to line here and a little here and a little here? How did you get to know a line here and a line here? How? How did you get into this book and be able to learn how to take verses and verses and sling them to where you can meet them to where you can get your own understanding? That's what they did. Because if they stuck with just what it says, it would make them look really, really wicked. So the best thing is when you're teaching them, sling it from precept to precept, line upon line, a little here and a little there. No, no, no. You need to sit your tail still and know that Yah, he ain't going to have you swarming all around. He don't need to get you to his point, going precept beyond precept, a line here and a line here, a little here and a little here. Y'all don't need to do that. He don't need to go that route. That's a route of a fool. He can tell you straight off what's what. He don't need you to go all over the world. And see, that's what they did. They think it's about being on the corners, being out on the streets, wearing their fringes, being head of their household. And 99.9 still ain't been head of the household. Why? Because they haven't labored to work to even feed themselves. So now we hear, and it says in verse 5, verse 5, and the whole heart has faint. Then when we went to verse 6, it says, from the sole of the feet even unto the head, there is no soundness in it. So how is it that I am to take the Hebrew Israelite movement and the Hebrew Israelite cults, basically, and take them serious? How can I actually apply them to somewhere in the Judah tribe as help? And then you would wonder, well, how did Judah not know that to him is more than somebody stealing your identity? You lost your identity. So it was up for grab. A lot of people wouldn't grip it like that because people, listen to what he says. Verse 6, from the sole of their feet, even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruise and purifying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither modified with ointment. Yah is sitting here telling you, this is a people that has not even got the proper healing, the proper restoring, the proper things that they need from me. These, if you look at verse 6, who you think allowed them to be like that? Yeah. He letting you know. Watch this here, verse 6. From the sole of their feet, even unto the head, there is no soundness in them, Deborah. And then watch this here. But wounds and bruise and purifying sores, Deborah, they have not been closed. That means ain't nothing in them Yah has healed. They still got open wounds, y'all. He said, and they have never been modified with any ointment. That means Yah have not given them anything to be healed. Woo, Father Yah. No, you didn't go there. Yes, he did. But yet they stand today as if they fully healed. Because they understand that, hey, so I'm the people, so we this and we that. We all this and all of that. We this. We Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They slinging all kind of information. And they're not entitled to nothing but to stand still and know that he is the Most High Yah. He the one brought you here. He's going to be the one have to snatch you out. They don't want to go there. They don't want to go there. They want to continue doing as their forefathers. And in the process, teach people that Yah coming for us no matter what. Men wants to sit and lay up and have baby after baby. Don't feed them. Don't give them a roof over the head. Don't do anything. Just say that we're supposed to produce. What do you think you at? You think Yah wants you to bring forth children without feeding them, putting a roof over the head, not leading them to him? No, they don't even know the responsibility that Yah has held them accountable for. So that's why Yah is telling you in verse 6, they ain't healed, y'all. So all of these issues that you see in Isaiah chapter 1, verse 6 is what's in our men today. That is what they're suffering through. They have not been healed. And I tell people, do not think that you can go online and find a man. Don't go visiting men in the prison thinking you're going to find you a man. Because what they do is they think that they can use Yah and say, oh, Yah found me a husband, or Yah, I can teach them about Yah and everything's going. No, 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 no. What's in people today, you cannot move. You cannot change. I sit back and think about how he tells me, but your videos, Deborah, had all the light, had all spirit and truth. I'm telling you, if they didn't get me, they ain't going to get you. So all you need to do is match up with me at all times. Praise the mighty Yah. At all times. And you too, from the level of the wilderness, shall see that it's not going to move no one, just as the days of Noah. It didn't move not one, not one, not one. Their whole mind was wicked and evil continually, the days of Noah. So here he's actually in verse 6, Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 6, actually telling you they're not even healed. I haven't healed nothing about them. So in verse 7 it says, your country is desolated. Your cities are burnt. So we know that he's telling you what you are today. Because this here is showing you that your land, your country is desolated, which is your land. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devoured in your presence. They did. Oh, yes, they did. And it is desolated as overthrown by strangers. Verse 8. And the daughters of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, as a lounge in the garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. See, this is showing you how you lost your land. But this is also showing you who you were that didn't have no connection to the United States of America. But what people wants to continue to teach is to instill in you all that somebody done everything to you, but you reject learning who you are. Yah has turned that light on so bright, we have no reason to continue to think that it's more to it than what we already know. There's no more coming. If you have not and refuse not to learn what took place with the people from way back, and you want to make them heavens bound today, you go right ahead. That's how they live it. So when I'm sitting around as a prophetess in the wilderness and I'm quoting 8% realize who they are. What happened to the 92%? What happened to them? They could give a rat's behind. Judah don't care. So this is the same mindset way back in Isaiah, thousands of years. Y'all don't get it. This is the same mindset today. And it says here in verse 9, except Yah of hosts had left. Listen to this. This is where the good part is at. Let me turn it to that. Yeah, here it is. Verse 9, it says, except Yah of hosts has left unto us a small remnant. Do you all know what that means? 99.9 would never, ever, ever understand what that just said. It says, except. Now, you got to understand, this is Isaiah and Yah speaking to him. Listen to this. Except Yah of hosts had left unto us. Who is us? Who is us? Judah and Jerusalem. If Yah of hosts Meaning Yah of hosts. I like that because he's letting you know the whole host of heaven. He's the Yah of the whole host of heaven. That's what I like about it. The Yah of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant. But what is it said? Except he's actually saying to me and many others that's out in the body of Hamashiach, if it had not been for Yah to have left unto us a small remnant. Now, all this stuff is saying about Israel, Jerusalem, and Judah. He's letting you know in the midst of them is a small remnant. Is a small remnant. Now, I'm going to show you how Yah is wanting us to grip this. Now, watch this. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 9, it says, except Yah of hosts had left unto us a small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like Gomorrah. What is he saying? You remember when he approached Abraham, and he went on telling Abraham how he was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham thought that I can break this down, and truly, if there's somebody there that has not fallen under this, surely you will let it live all the way down to 10. And he told me there's not no one there. So a lot of you all did not understand. Not even Lot and his families were worldly. Okay, so Isaiah sitting here letting us know in Sodom and Gomorrah, okay, Yah had a small remnant left in Israel. And he's saying if he didn't have that small remnant, it would be like Sodom and Gomorrah. Why? Because that's exactly what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. Why? Because that's all he was trying to get Abraham to understand. If I had a remnant in there, then I won't destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. But he didn't have anything in there. So he destroyed it. So he's sitting here saying, like he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, he would have did that to Judah and Jerusalem. Had not, he had a small remnant among them. So a lot of you might think, not knowing, not having no understanding, not having no spiritual wisdom, no spiritual knowledge, and no spiritual nothing, would think, well, okay, this lady's just on here just whooping and whooping. Let me tell you something. Right then, I just cracked an egg. And you had no idea what was just cracked. Y'all just wanted us to understand. I would have took you all, Israel and Judah, out of here, Deborah. I would have took their tails up out of here. Had not my small remnant reside among them. That's the egg that's just been cracked. And that's what he's saying here in verse 9. If it had not been for my small remnant, I would have took them out like I did Sodom and Gomorrah. See, I know many people take Yah as everything except being the creator, the master, the King of kings, the Lord of lords, as they call it, the God, as they call it, but the God of all, lowercase G-O-D. I'm just painting the picture, y'all. But I like what verse 9 was saying, because it gave us a warning as a people of Yah. And the only one going to receive the warning and accept the warning is those that is that small remnant. So it makes me feel good because it reminds me of the same steps it gives you, Solomon and Gomorrah. I said, Father, that's the same step you brought to Abraham. If there was at least something of mine in there, I wouldn't destroy. So he's saying in Israel, I got a small remnant. And because of that small remnant, I didn't do them, Jerusalem and Judah. I didn't do them like I would have done them, like I did Sodom and Gomorrah. because my remnant was there. That's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Same thing I tried to teach throughout these 7 years. Y'all have a people inside of a people. We want to just categorize all the people. But what purpose would that be for him to have serpent seeds and spiritual seeds? So he gonna give all Israel spiritual seeds? And all the things spiritual Israel have done since Genesis all the way to Revelation toward him and against him as an enemy to him. But yet he's going to place in them the spiritual seed. What sense does that make? It makes a lot of sense to a lot of people. Because what people are really searching on these platforms and really searching within themselves and in their lives is a lie. And guess what? Hold up. You have no problem. It's going to be there. That lie is there waiting for you. The ones that want to believe the lie, it's waiting for you. Because the truth of the matter, it opened up a whole new door right here in Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 9. Letting you know, all because of the remnant that Yah has among Israel, not Israel, Jerusalem, which is the same, and Judah. Especially Judah. I have a remnant. So it makes me feel really good. It really do. It brings me to a different level toward his bosom. Because I'm like saying, okay, Father, don't that make a lot of sense? I said, because I battle with the fact that I come here to work among Judah. And what I'm seeing is not pleasant. It's not good. So when I report back to the Father, I'm saying, Father, this you created this? Father, you allowed this. That's my communication to him. You letting them do this, Father. They did this to you. They did this to you. So it's a battle of trying to understand how could these people be so horrible, and yet you still hold firm to him. He got a remnant inside of him. It's a people inside of a people. That's why. And here it is telling you, had it not been for that remnant, I would have, he telling Isaiah, I would have canceled them out like I did Solomon and Gomorrah, had not been for that remnant. Same thing today. Same thing today. If you think for 1 minute the reason why he has not delivered Israel, because we're on a time, not a time period, a day period on his clock. But the thing about it is he still got his remnant right here on the earth. You see? So when he busts a move, I guaranteed you it'll be when he getting ready to get his remnant out. Okay. That's what I love about him. He got things so in order. So in order. It don't matter how you understand it or if you can understand it. It's only for a people, the oneness, to understand. So in verse 10, it says, here we go into verse 10. Okay. In verse 10, it says, hear the word of Yah. You see, now he's letting you know the word of Yah. Stepping out of the words, in a sense, to let you know, hear the word. Heavens wants to say something, okay? The kingdom, not the heavens, but the heaven where his throne resides. He said, ye rulers of Sodom, and give ear unto the law of our Yah. Ye people of Gomorrah. You know what he's saying? Do y'all get that? He's already sending you a message. Hear the word of Yah. Ye rulers. Now we know the rulers are not women. See, that's why I keep telling y'all, they do not want to step in the rim of going back to pick up the ball, and y'all ain't going to accept the ball even if they picked it up in two hands. It's over. They can't pick up the ball and bring it forward because they dropped it with the intent of leaving it right there to where we today will be lost trying to grip this thing and understand this thing. See, the men didn't know they had to bring it on. They had a job to do. And when they failed back in the old, they failed in the new, and they failed even to today. They repeated and worser than their forefathers. So what happens? Listen to this, y'all. Listen to how scary this really sounds. Hear the word of Yah. So Yah still talking. He's still speaking over Isaiah. Ye rulers of Sodom. Wait a minute, Father. Wait a minute. Hold up. Hold up. You mean you're going to match this thing to the T? Yeah, Deborah. Can you break it down to him? I sure will. Thank you, Father. You finna match this thing real good. Listen to what he say. Hear ye word of Yah, ye rulers of Sodom. Give ears until the law of Yah, ye people of Gomorrah. Gomorrah. Now, why is he saying that when that took place way back in the beginning? Why is he speaking that to Ezekiel? If you know it in the live chat, help me out right here. Why do you think that in Isaiah, not Ezekiel, in Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 10, read over it. Why is he speaking his word right here? Why? Okay, so you saying they're wicked just like the Sodom and Gomorrah. They are carbon copies. So you're right. You're 100% right. They are carbon copies, and he's speaking to what he knows. Woo, Father God. What's beautiful about this is not Isaiah saying this. The word of Yah said unto Isaiah, listen to how he hear my word of Yah, the word of Yah. Ye rulers. See, he's talking to the rulers. Now, who are the rulers? The same ones that was ruling back in Solomon and Gomorrah. Do you all know that they too were Judah? And a lot of them was Israel, but a lot of them was Judah? You already know they did you? Yes. Oh, no, I know y'all don't want to own that thing. But that's why he said, break that thing down. I'm finna break that thing down. I'm finna mess with you now. Okay, so let's go and then. We know Sodom and Gomorrah was back in the days. So those were Hebrew Israelites back then. Other nations were also embedded, but basically it was Israelites. Why would he go to Abraham? Come on now, y'all, make it make sense. It don't even need you to make it make sense. It's gonna make sense anyway with you or without you, because it is truth. You see? Now watch this. So when you speak of Solomon and Gomorrah, you got to have that mindset of why was it important that Yah step into Abraham before he do something that he do best? You don't own Abraham don't run nothing. Who did they hear? What you got to go tell him for? Because Abraham was the only one on the earth that went after Yah full force. It wasn't because he, as a man, did it. It was he that was called down here to walk those steps the way that he did. And Yah made sure that he gave him everything he needed to do so. So, but Abraham, okay, he knew that they were the relative of Abraham. It wasn't just Lot. He knew they were the offspring. See, a lot of people didn't know that. And they would sit and deny it. And they would make it this is how important I say it is that had Judah went in and done it right for us, his awakening, then more people than 8% and pretty much 3%, it might be following it a little bit right out of the 8. So we say 3% out of 100 would be following Yah the right way. But which is still a small remnant. But because Judah found out who he was and still went the dark way, backwards. Remember, he said backwards. Why is you telling them that they went backwards, Father? Because they did, Deborah. They went back to the ways of their father, and they're going to pull up today and make it look like today they know something, but they ain't. They don't. They're the same. That's why they're going backwards. What verse was that? It tells you they went backwards. Where is it at? Verse 4. He said, and Israel, they provoked the Holy One of Israel until anger. They are gone backwards, because backwards represents the old ways of their forefathers, even to today. So when I hear him in verse 10, and he's coming out with his own, Yah is calling Israel not Israel, Jerusalem and Judah and Jerusalem, he's calling them solemn, the rulers of Solomon, and give the ear until the law of Yah, ye people of Gomorrah. He's letting them know, you don't think I know y'all repeated Solomon and Gomorrah. Let me tell you, I'm going to show you up. That is so beautiful to me because I can sit here and talk about our men and about Judah because that's my mission, my purpose. But when you sit here and talk and you're trying to get people to get past this mindset as, oh, we all this, we the did, and they want you to focus on every nationality. No, baby, I come for Judah. I come for Judah. My calling, my purpose, he foreknew me. He predestined me for Judah. So I cannot get wrapped totally up in every other tribe. I got to rest on Judah because it's so much, even to today, year 2000, October to the year 2025, Judah still have no idea because Judah want the lie. But Judah didn't want the lie today from Sister Deborah. Judah always wanted the lie. Now, if you cannot see in Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 10, Yah is stepping into Judah, saying that, calling them Solomon and Gomorrah. Why would you be doing that, Father? That happened thousands of years way back in the old. This is still the old, but that was, back in Torah. Do y'all know why? I bet y'all still don't know, do you? Do you know why? Do you know why he stepped into them in verse 10? With Isaiah, he's telling Isaiah, tell Judah, Jerusalem and Judah, but basically Judah, that they are Sodom and Gomorrah. I tried to teach that in the last 4 years, that Judah acts like, because we don't understand. It's say, for instance, we were 16% of the population. And I used to say, which y'all probably don't remember it, I used to say Judah is in the closet, under the bed, in the closet, on top of the closet. I used to say that all the time. Nobody would ever really get it and grip what I used to say. I used to say that all the time. Yes. And y'all calling them out. Look at it, people. Look at Isaiah. Solomon and Gomorrah happened back in the Old Testament, back in Torah. What is Yah calling it out to Isaiah? Because these are the same people. And Sister Deborah been trying to tell y'all, the homosexual lifestyle and the way that our men go is a way of life. Yah calling it out in Isaiah, separate from Isaiah. He's saying to Isaiah, he's saying, hear, oh word, hear the word of Yah. We know what the word of Yah is. That coming from the throne, baby. So y'all can make it look any way you want. This message, not this message, this verse is strictly coming from the throne. It's calling it out. Hear the word of Yah, ye rulers. Now we know who the rulers are. They are men. Okay, of Sodom, give ear until the law of your Yah, ye people of Gomorrah. Solomon and Gomorrah, he pours it up right into the bosom of of Isaiah to tell those people, check, you think I don't know what y'all are? I today would tell you the same thing. I tried to teach that. I tried to speak on it. I've talked about so many things. Like I said, even though those videos are still there, it's a blessing to me because it goes right back where he said that he would have destroyed them like Solomon Gomorrah, but had not he had that remnant. Okay? That's the only reason why he didn't. See, with Abraham, he said it wasn't going to be nobody. He was going to take out Lot because of Abraham. Abraham was saying, but if it's this many, would you do it? If it's this many, why? Because those were his people. See? Why ain't the Hebrew Israelites teaching that? Because they don't want you to know your own true identity. Only part they want you to know is somebody stole our identity. And y'all gonna get them. That's all they want you to know. That's all they want to believe. That's all they want to live by. So here, I love this in verse 10 because Yah is calling them out as Solomon and Gomorrah. But let me tell you the key to it. The key to it is Solomon and Gomorrah started. Let me get it right because I got it down here. I got to get the other one. Let me explain something to y'all, which I don't understand. The chapter that speaks of Solomon and Gomorrah. Genesis 19, verse 24 through 25. Do y'all understand what that means? I don't think y'all do. Let me make sure that's right, though. Let me make sure. Yes, it is. Solomon and Gomorrah, that thing started back in Genesis chapter 19, 24 through 25. Why did the Creator find need to go tell Abraham what he's about to do? Because Abraham was detached to them. Those were his people up in there. You see, I know the Hebrew Israelites ain't going to teach you that. But Yah said he's going to bring light out of darkness. And it's not going to rechange your belief or change your walk, change your talk. It's just going to show you light going to always have victory over darkness, even if it has to come at the very end. And that's another mystery I'm about to crack right here and now. So in Solomon and Gomorrah, you went in between the chapter of Genesis 19. Do you see how I will teach, trying to teach you how it's important not to go running back to Torah like the people want to teach it, because they think and they feel they have mastered Torah to the utmost, to where they can hang your tail in Torah. Oh, yes, they can. Yes, they can. And you'll be lost for eternal. Because if they can get us to go back to Torah, then we will be lost with the cause and without, like we are already. We would never know what we know today if we were to go back and take the 5 books and live by it. They have not, they fail to realize this same Torah you're trying to drag people to live by, the world end. Genesis 6. Every imagination was wicked and evil continually. The fallen, not the fallen, but the angels. Men were selling their daughter. But you want us to go back and abide and hold firm and keep Torah for today. Y'all, that's a biggest trap on the face of the earth. And I've said that over and over. Be careful going into what they call Torah. Because what they did is, they did something, y'all. They mastered it. They mastered it. So they think. But then they dropped the ball in Genesis 1. So how did you master the Torah and you drop the ball in Genesis 1? So if you drop the ball in Genesis 1, you don't know a rat's behind that's going on in Genesis, period. So let's continue. Let's go there. So when you see that Solomon and Gomorrah and all this homosexual stuff was in Genesis chapter 19, that's Torah. But what is Yah saying way over in Isaiah? Father, why would you pull up and say the rulers of Solomon and Gomorrah? Why are you saying here, Solomon and Gomorrah gone? They died in Genesis. What are you talking about? Deborah, tell him. Because you have repeated it here in Isaiah. That's why he's speaking to you. Want me to climb on top of it? Let me climb on top and give you a little something. In the book of Judges, chapter 19, again, they repeated it. The homosexual act. When they went after to have sex with one of the kings of Judah. He was traveling with his servant and his, concubine? And they wanted to have sex with him. Who do y'all know that was? Anybody? No, not me say anybody. You that are in the live. It's good to see you. Let me ask you something. Do you know what town was he in? There you go. And who is Benjamin? Do you know? It was Benjamin. It was the city and town of Benjamin. Who is Benjamin? That's one of the 12 disciples. They in that town was practicing homosexual like unto Solomon Gomorrah. Come on now. That was in the book of Judge. It is known. I try to teach that. I will never forget. I was heavy on that 4 years ago. Trying to get Israel to understand, and Judah, basically Judah, that you've been involved in this homosexual thing. We would think that they said AIDS came from the monkeys over in Africa. Don't estimate that. They make up all kind of chemicals and they biochemicals and everything. But I don't put nothing. If you ever look at over in Africa, all this witchcraft and voodoo and all these different disease and dismembered bodies and who head is this big because their mouth is coming out and their head is different. Come on now. Because there's a lot of evil and wicked practices there. They played with a lot of chemicals and a lot of witchcraft. But nobody wants to tell the truth. So what is Sister Deborah saying? In the book of Judge, chapter 19 is where it started. There was a king that was a king he was a retired king from Judah that was traveling, trying to get to the other tribes town. He had to cross Benjamin. Is Benjamin his family? Sure it is. But his own family, one of the tribes, the 12 tribes, wanted to have sex with him. And he put his female concubine out there and they killed her. So he wanted to get and gather all the other Israel, other tribes, to come and destroy Benjamin. Do y'all know? Do y'all understand who this was? It was Abraham, Isaac. This is not Abraham, Isaac. This was Jacob's 12 tribes. You see how y'all done got away with all kind of crap and want to run around here and make everybody think it's about them stealing your identity? Your identity rests right here telling you the truth and you refuse. He's giving you all that you need. If you get confused, he'll give you somebody that have the ruach and he'll pull that thing out so you can see it. But then you run around here saying precept, a line here, a little bit. That's confusion. That's to get you confused and confound to where you won't stick to what he just said. You'll jump to this verse, that verse, this line, a little here and a little there to confound and confuse people. Because that's your only way to get the lie to be accepted. So when you talk about Benjamin, there go another one of the tribes. They was practicing homosexual. So all Israel got a piece of the lady's body. The judge, the king of Judah, son, cut up his concubine, handed son it to every tribe outside of Benjamin, and with them he left a letter that they telling them what he did, what they did, telling the people, the other tribes, what they did to him in the city of Benjamin. Benjamin tribe reside. That's what they did. Still did what? Homosexual. So when you look at it today, a lot of people turn their head, especially Judah, the other way, and we want to blame and we say every other race. I want y'all to really think about that. So that's another reason why you don't want to know your history, because the history that he can give you out of your study guide is enough for make you really want to know truth. And then if you really wanted to know truth, he's letting you know, I will come and I'll abide with you and you abide with me. Why is he coming to abide with you? To give you the light to see truth. But they don't want it. They want the lie that sits in darkness. You get the point? So when he's saying this in verse 10, I'm like, wait a minute, Father, you going deep. You telling it like it is. Because I would never have gone into Isaiah chapter 1 like this. It took the Ruach to take me there, just to show me how far that a people, my own tribe, have gone thinking they have mastered lying on me. We would say that the Europeans, the fake ooze over there, have lied on our father. No, no, no. You can't even blame the Christian. Not with this, baby. Why you say that, Deborah? Because all you hear the Hebrew Israelite men in this country saying, this is about our history. This book is about us. This book is our history. Why haven't you been up under the Ruach to really get your history fulfilled? Because the lie is better than the truth. And they want to continue the lie all the way to the end. Okay, so I wanted to show you that let me see, how far did I go? Okay, and it shocked me something else that was revealed that I didn't even know that it even exists. I didn't even know that was true. That to be even and let me see if I can find it. And I had never seen that a day in my life. Let me see if I can find that verse. In that verse, it talks about the two cities. Okay, wait a minute. It's still up here then. You know what? There is a verse in here talking. Wait a minute. Okay, there go the small remnant. It does talk about the small remnant. Where is it at? And he said armament. And he talked about the small remnant. Let me find it. There is in that same chapter, it talks about the Quran. It talks about the Quran speaks on the two cities. Or was that in one of my study guides? That's what it was. It talks about the Quran speaking of these two cities of Sodom and Gomorrah when he spoke of it to Judah and Jerusalem. It says the book Quran speaks about these two cities because we won't speak on it. We won't let our people know that's us. I already knew that was us. That's why I say they're our men are in the closet, out of the closet, under the bed, under the table, they everywhere. Because we want to live the lie. We want to die the lie. We want to take the lie to the end of the earth. And you have. Let me tell you how you did it. When you gave 40 years up. 400, not 40, 400 years was thrown away. And some was thrown away. And in them 400 years, y'all have to have some sort of mindset. I'm speaking to the body of Hamashiach. You have to have some sort of mindset that something's wrong with that. 400 and something years. And the best you can come up today and say that they stole our identity. They are not claiming nothing that y'all say about us. Think about it. You will not see over in Israel claiming the slave ship, claiming all the attitudes and the ugliness and the abomination and all the fornication and all the whoremongering and all the evil thing that Israel and Judah has done. They over in that land will not claim none of it. That there shows you a sign that they know that you are the one. They ain't fascinated with the fact that you know that you are, because you know why? Could you tell me in the live chat, only if you can, why does it not bother them all over the world that the people over there are not Israel? Why is it doesn't bother them? Why is it that all these people on these platforms proclaiming that they are Israel, the true Israel. And they said, oh, you hear a lot of them making videos. Oh, the people, the white people are waking it up. They are waking. You're giving them all the glory to waking up to something that they wouldn't ever sleep on. Oh, Deborah, you going there? Yes, I am. All the way. So what is it that nothing in this, you say to Christians, okay, they can never find anything in here that matches them over there. Why is it they wanted to take our identity, but not our lifestyle? Y'all ain't get it. Y'all don't get it. That's deep. That's what you call deep. Why would they take on who we were without taking on who we are? You see the point I'm making? That is a powerful message I just taught. And it's called, Can We Understand When Heaven is Speaking? How you will never in your whole living make it make sense. Why is it that they can't say or identify themselves or take on or claim these other things in this here book? But they claim that they are the people. They don't want to claim nothing about Israel, Israel and Judah. Because listen to me, y'all. Y'all don't understand. You really don't understand. And I'm talking to the body of Hamashiach. You really don't understand. It's nothing about Israel and Judah. It's worth claiming. I just gave y'all a revelation. It's up to you to do what you want to do with it. It's nothing about Israel and Judah that they would want to claim outside of portraying the name that they are the true Judah. They don't care about nothing that's going on in here. They refuse and will reject anything that speaks of the Jews in here. Why? Because they don't want nothing to do with who we really are. It's us that is in full denial, full deception. We've been lying year after year after year after year, and it did not start when we got over here. So just look at the beautiful picture. I just painted y'all one of the probably the best picture I have ever painted. And that is showed you a picture of why those that's over there that's not the true Jew, all they took was the Jew name. That's it. They didn't want nothing about you. And as ugly as this book say that you are, evil and wicked, they denied everything in here to be them outside of being the true Jews. And if you all that's out there, that's of the body of Hamashiach, don't take this message and use it, pack it up, wrap it up really good and use it all the days of your life, your living. Because this is a very powerful message. It answered this message, this revelation I just gave you, answer a multitude of questions. Because people will not, they don't want nothing about who you are. They don't want to claim nothing. Guess what? They don't even want your Messiah. No, you ain't going there, Deborah. Oh, yes, I am. They don't want your Yah. They don't want your Messiah. Now, you in the live chat, do you understand why they don't want nothing about us? Do you understand why? Do you really understand why those people who have stole someone's identity and the whole world knew it, but they took the identity without taking nothing about us? The Christians, all of them knew. But what was it? Not just because we are horrible, because Yah is not horrible. Yeshua HaMashiach is not horrible. They don't want neither nor. They don't want Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's God or their Yah. They don't want the Messiah. Why? And I end. Why? Why? Why do you just want the name Jew? Why did you steal that name and use it? But didn't want nothing in this book to apply to you. Not even Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's Yah. Not even the Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach. They don't want that. And they tell the whole world they don't want to have nothing to do with that. But all they wanted was that name, Jew. Because they knew that Jews was the apple of Yah's eye. But they don't even want Yah. They thought that the wealth of the Jews through the darkness is what they inherit. Let me give you an example. Right now, a lot of you all be searching the internet and you be really, like I used to tell my ex-husband, you be all in the wrong places doing the wrong thing instead of being trying to learn about what your surroundings, what's going on, what Yah is saying, what Yah is bringing on. People be everywhere outside of where they need to be. And that's a good thing for them. But I say unto you, they didn't want Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's Yah. They didn't want Yeshua HaMashiach. So what was it about stealing the identity of Jews that you wanted? Because they knew that they were the apple of the Creator. And they feel if you claimed the worst of the worst, we don't want nothing to do with you, nor the Lion of Judah. We just need to be the Jews. Why? Because in them, they found out that the people that they were taking name had a messed up from the flow up history. They didn't want your history. You too ignorant today. 400 and past years and still won't grip your own history. So what makes you think they wanted to hold on to your history of who you are? All they needed was the word Jew to deceive the whole world. They didn't need to know who you were in Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They didn't need to know your Messiah. All they wanted was the word Jew to deceive the world, and it was successful. And Satan didn't have nothing to do with that. They did it. That's why they teaches you the Jesuits. Those are the smart ones among them. The smart of the smart who wrote this Bible and made it the way they wanted you to believe it. So what happened? It was so much Israel and Judah, especially Judah, had done ugly and wicked. You want to say your history, they lied on you in your history, it would have been better you took their history than the history that's in here. Oh, Father, did I go there, Father, y'all? Oh, yes, you did, Deborah, but that's okay. I went there, didn't I? I think I went there, y'all. They would, and they do. 99.9 of Judah would take the history in all the lost books, all the books that's all over the world, before they go up in here and see their ugly selves. They have refused, reject, and went backwards to keep from going forward. 400 years, and guess what they kept doing? Going backwards. Why? Because they didn't want to go forward. Because their ugliness still rests in the back of them. Their forefathers. That's who they're worshiping today than their forefathers. You see? So they claimed the back because they didn't want to go forward. You see, that's why he said in Isaiah chapter 1, they went all the way back to claim every wicked and evil thing that their forefathers done to get them even in captivity. They claimed it, they live by it, and they want to die by it. But Yah said, tell you what, Deborah, tell them again. Except my small remnant rest therein. There are people inside of a people. And this is what they did not want. They didn't want to claim nothing that you are in your book, in your Enoch book, in none of your books didn't mean nothing to this whole world, and nobody haven't even recognized it. Everybody hooping and hollering about the Christians and the Islam, Muslim, and all these different religions. They don't give a rat's behind who you are. Because if you ever picked up this book, you'll know who you are. And when I say pick it up, study it with the Ruach. Because without it, you're going to still be as dumb as you are today, tomorrow, forevermore. Because the truth be told, if you ever think, y'all, why didn't they take all our identity? They didn't take nothing but our name, Jews. Answer that. Make that make sense. You're not going to be able to, because you're full of the lies. The lies is what everybody wants. The lie, 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 lie. So I say unto you, being in the body of Hamashiach is a place of light. If you are in the body of Hamashiach, stay within the body of Hamashiach and see straight through all this darkness. And when people approach you trying to get you to lean to their understanding of what they've been taught all this time, what I just taught today, you can set a multitude of people free. With this message alone, can set a multitude of people free. Because this is a prime example of the way we are today is the way our forefathers was yesterday. And that's another reason why the Hebrew Israelite, those who 8% and only 3% might know the truth of who they are, but the 8%, they're leaving the other 5%, they don't know nothing. They playing a game with their own people. They're wrapping their people around this same mess. I just gave you Isaiah. Listen to what Ezekiel said. Listen to what Jeremiah, Hosea, Daniel. You listen to all of it, it's not going to change, y'all. Guess what? It won't change from where I'm at today, where I stand, where I teach, what I preach. It's not going to change, y'all. It is what it is. Only one way we can get victory is own truth and not live the lie. And trust that Yah got us either way it go. But don't think it's a people inside of a people. I can't create a heaven nor a hell to put no one in. But I can tell you for sure that Yah has already created that. It wouldn't be no reason for me to create a heaven and the hell to put no one in. But I can tell you that there is a heaven and a hell. And if you think only, okay, I can just say it, you go right ahead and live by that. That's what the Hebrew Israelites been doing. Saying what? We awakening. We awakening. You see? That's all they keep saying. And they have awakened to stupidity. We, as the body of Hamashiach, as time go on in these end days, because we at the end, our end is when he get us out of here. Their end is going to be longer suffering and judgment, tribulation, and perilous times. See, you're thinking that we're going to keep having to go through all it. No, we're not. We right there at the door, y'all. That's the message Sister Deborah is bringing today. Can we understand when heaven speaks? Because when heaven speaks, the next time he speaks, it's going to be telling that small remnant, come up yonder. Okay? So I, Sister Deborah, appreciate each and every last one of you tuning in. And I know you all missed what I said, but I'm saying it over because y'all want me to repeat it. And that is, they claim nothing about you. Nothing. They claim nothing about you. The same level that the Christian can be in and out of this Bible, go to church 40 years, 50 years, 100 years, reading this Bible over their pastor and they teachers, and never cross the fact that why don't the things that it says about Israel, why isn't it applying to them over there? So don't think, because that's what's going to get us in trouble. Get it from away from people that got that one set mind that wants to believe the lie over the truth. And I, Sister Deborah, appreciate each and every last one of you all. And I appreciate you tuning in, sister, because you are truly my sister. Okay. And I appreciate you tuning in. I know that you know everything I know already. But I will say this on this live: when you see me tomorrow, you're subject to see me with a changed color of hair. So don't be shocked. That's my outer man. But greater is he that is in me than he that's on the outer. And I just thank him for letting me know that no matter what, I'm greater in you. Praise the Most High Yah. Shalom and shalom.